And we are back with Wes Haynes from the American Red Cross. He's answering all of your blood donation questions ahead of the WFMY News 2 Holiday Blood Drive. So Wes, I was thinking about this next question during the commercial break. So when I tried to donate blood when I was in high school, I got turned away because they said I didn't meet the height requirement at the time. What are some reasons that folks might get turned away?
So that's one. There's a height and actually a weight requirement. And again, unfortunately, like I have often said, it's actually a matrix. So your age, your height, your weight kind of has to get the right mix. Most people, and the vast majority, do meet that. So other reasons you might be referred to things we've talked about already, medications, depending on what medications you might be on, past medical history, travel is another one. Like I said myself, when I visit my mother-in-law in Mexico, it's usually about 4 weeks deferred. So any of those things, I always say medical history, if you have an extensive medical history or you do a lot of traveling, it's always good to call 1-800 Red Cross. But they're also going to check your blood pressure. They're going to check your temperature. They're going to check your pulse. So we're going to do it. We're going to also test your iron levels. We're going to test all of that before you donate blood. And we'll let you know what they are. And actually, a lot of that will be recorded on the app. So you can keep track of things like your blood pressure, your pulse as you donate.
So earlier we talked about having a good meal before you go out to donate blood. What are some different types of foods that will cause you to not get turned away, or that will be good for you if you're about to donate?
Absolutely. The best thing is those high iron, kind of beefy, meaty kind of meals. It's a great idea the night before a blood donation, have a good steak. If you don't like steak, those leafy greens often get a lot of good iron into you. A lot of people don't know they actually are low in iron, not necessarily to the point where it's a huge problem, but they're a little bit below where most doctors would recommend. And so making sure you have a high iron diet before you donate is always a good idea.
So I just got a really good question that came in from a viewer. Someone asked, can a 92-year-old give blood? Does age matter?
Age is not a disqualifier. We have had people donate into their 90s. It is an amazing thing. However, the older you are, oftentimes the more medications you might have been on or might be on, and the more medical history you might have. So I also recommend older donors check out 1-800 Red Cross and kind of filter through it, but age alone is not going to defer you.
Good to know, and shout out to that person that's planning on coming out on Tuesday. So and another viewer had asked, as a former cancer patient, how long should you wait to donate after being deemed cancer-free?
So again, there's a lot of things that go into that. What type of cancer you had, what impact it had on your health at the time, what medications you may still be on, even when you're cancer-free. So again, the answer is going to be 1-800 Red Cross. Make sure they go into the specific details of what happened and they can give you the best advice.
So earlier we were talking about some of the fears when it comes to blood donation. Kind of walk us through the process. What actually happens for someone who's never done this before? What can they expect when they arrive?
Absolutely. First of all, you're going to be greeted by generally a Red Cross volunteer who's going to greet you in, welcome you in, check you in the system. If you're a walk-in, they're going to, or not, they're going to schedule, they'll find out what kind of appointment you had. They'll check you in. They'll ask you a few basic questions, a couple reminders. Make sure you bring a photo ID or a donor ID card. So they'll check with you that you've done that. Once you've done the check-in, they'll ask you if you read our materials online and something called a Rapid Pass, which we highly recommend everyone doing a Rapid Pass before they come in. But if not, we'll have some printed materials for you to read while you're there. Once you've read the materials or finished check-in, you'll go into the waiting process, and from there, you'll go to health history. The health history, you'll sit one-on-one with one of our collection staff, and you'll go through a lot of detailed questions, making sure that you are in a good, healthy state to donate blood, and B, that there's nothing in your history that would make it bad for your blood to go into a recipient, or maybe not bad, but at risk of going into a recipient. So they'll do a lot of questions. That's also when they'll do the things like we talked about, blood pressure, temperature, iron levels, pulse check, all of those things to make sure you're good. And after that, they'll make sure you understand everything that's about to happen, and then you'll go onto the bed. As I said before, the process of the needle going in the arm to finish bleeding, that's not a very long process. That's about 7 to 10 minutes on average. There are some people out there that like to be superstars and go really fast, and there are some people that take a little longer, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing. Once you've finished filling up the bag, it's got to be just 1 pint. The way it's all done, it's specifically exactly 1 pint plus the tubes that we take. And then after that, we're going to leave you on the bed for just a minute, clean you up, put a bandage on, put some Band-Aids on you, make sure that everything's good. And then we're going to ask you to go to the cookie table I talked about earlier. And we'll ask you to stay there for 5 to 10 minutes. And if you're not feeling 100%, stay a little longer. And that's it.
We all love a great cookie. Thank you so much, Wes. This was some great information. If you missed this interview, you can go to our website and look under the Who Wants to Know section.